moves so slow when you're younger, and then as you get older, it's like you wake up and then you blink and then it's already time to go to sleep. Like, what? A money saving tip, something that I live by. I know it'll help you decide if you're ready to move or not, because I don't want you to rush. I mean, the worst thing to do is rushing. Most men will love that. Hello. Welcome to the Hair and Love Show, where I give you my best and most honest advice on self-love, relationships, dating, and even sometimes life, like I'm gonna be doing today, while I do my hair. And I know you guys are like, girl, this is the first of you coming on the show starting off like this. Well, you know, it's a first for everything. Expect more of this. We're gonna be doing something a little different for these shows. I've been like styling my hair, and today we're gonna keep it real honest. And I'm going to be kind of trying to repair my hair and prep my hair that I've neglected for almost 2 weeks. I literally haven't touched my hair or washed it and conditioned it, put anything in it since the last Hair and Love show. Anyways, shall we? Let's go. My hair. My beautiful natural hair. It doesn't get any more real than this. You guys know I like to try to do my hair once a week. I have my wash day on Sundays and my co-wash days on Thursdays to refresh my hair. And usually I do that weekly because that's usually what keeps my hair in the best health, moisturized, looking the best, feeling the best. But realistically, there are weeks where I, instead of weekly washing my hair, I do bi-weekly. And I kind of switch it up, honestly, especially during quarantine. I kind of been like slacking, and I don't want to say slacking because bi-weekly isn't necessarily slacking, because a lot of people do it and it works for them. So honestly, I guess it depends on convenience and stuff like that. But for me, like I said, my hair I notice thrives the best, and I have less work on my hair when I am keeping consistent weekly. So bi-weekly, my hair is a little more like, it's upset with me. She got an attitude, so she's gonna be complicated. She's gonna be all tangled and stuff like that. Especially because I haven't even been going to sleep with the protecting my hair for the past couple nights. Like, I just said, forget it. So instead of styling my hair today, I'm going to be pre-pooing my hair to prep it for wash day, which is gonna be tomorrow. If you guys watched my previous wash day video, I did say that I'm gonna be starting to pre-poo more often, especially with me neglecting my hair. Usually if I'm doing my hair weekly, then I feel like I don't really need to pre-poo. But on the days where I'm kind of like neglecting my hair a little bit, putting off wash day, or it's been like 2 weeks since I've washed my hair, or I'm doing the bi-weekly thing, that's when I feel like my hair needs the most prep before wash day, because again, my hair usually gets like a lot more knotted and tangled and dry, just obviously because I'm not, being consistent. Usually I like to answer questions while I do my hair, but today we actually have a topic, so hopefully that's okay. In the last video, I noticed in the comments, this person requested me to talk about adulting, and I thought, okay, great, let me put together some tips that I have on adulting. Although I could write a whole story passage, movie, a whole series on adulting, but I condensed it to 10 tips that may be helpful for any of you guys. So let's get into it. The question that inspired today's topic is, Jess, is it possible for you to do a video on adulting? I'm planning on moving into my first apartment next year, and it will be so helpful to hear your advice on things to know before you move out. I am terrified of the financial aspect of moving on my own. Thanks. Girl, you should be. It's scary. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's okay. It's okay. My hair literally feels like straw. It feels so dry, it's so tangled. It's like even hard for me to separate. Ooh. Ah, oh my gosh, this is not good. Okay. Oh my gosh, for real, I'm not even lying. gosh. Alright, I wrote all the tips down because I talk a lot. Tip number 1 is before you actually move out, you may want to consider doing monthly expenses sheets. Now, I don't know if you guys know what that is, but when I was young, I didn't know what the heck that was until my cousin explained it to me. Monthly expenses sheets usually are like little sheets that lets you fill in your monthly expenses. So you pretty much will put up what you make in a month. Then you just put down all of your expenses for that month. So expenses are bills, food, anything, car, medical. Oh, by the way, I'm using same products today, not anything new. The melanin leave-in conditioner. I mean, you guys are going to be seeing this a lot until it goes away, which looks like it's going to be emptying real fast, unfortunately. And this stuff is already sold out. And avocado oil to apply to my hair. And then I'm going to be finger detangling it, then putting it up, you know. If you guys saw my last wash day video, you know, usually that's what I do to pre-poo. I don't do many like different oils or anything like that. I just wanted to keep it simple and use what I have. You can literally pre-poo with whatever oils that you have or leave-in conditioner, whatever mixture and all that. But as I was saying, so you do your expenses sheet, you calculate all your expenses so you can know the total of your expenses, then you subtract the total of your expenses from however much you make a month, and then you see how much you have left over. So when I first did it, she said to record my expenses for 3 months, and then that would give me an average of how much I kind of make, because you know, different months can be different because you may spend more one month or less one month or whatever. So then I knew by those 3 months, I calculated, you know, all 3 months together, and then I knew the average of my expenses was. I had an idea of how much I make every month. And she told me also, sorry, I'm all over the place. She also told me when writing up my expenses, I need to include in how much I plan to spend on my apartment. Say I was thinking about having an apartment that I had to pay, like, my rent would be like, I don't know, $1,500. So I would put that in there, even though I'm not moving there yet, and then see at the end of that how much I would have over, like if I would afford it, pretty much. So are you guys understanding? First of all, I never really was good at finances. I didn't really grow up learning much about it. That's something I really wish that I, you know, I mean, obviously you can't really control it as a child. Yeah, so my cousin really helped me with finances, and I never really kept track of my money. I would get paid and then I would end up just spending it. You know the feeling when you feel in charge of your money rather than you don't know what the heck is going on with your money. You just know that you got it and then it's leaving. Doing the monthly expenses, she helped me learn about my money and have more control of where it's going, and also have everything just organized so it wasn't like I knew ahead of time how much I needed to make for certain things or whatever. I wanted to have rent that was $1,500. I added that to my expenses sheet, and then I totaled up all the, you know, the expenses, and then minused it with how much I make monthly to see if I was going to be able to afford that rent. I hope this makes sense. I hope you guys are following. I think that's helpful because then I'll kind of show you guys, instead of you thinking about it in your head, it's like you have everything written down, and so you can see, especially if you're visual, like everything just helps instead of, I know for me, I'm more of a visual person. I like to see where my money's going, see how my money's working, see what I can do, whatever, what I can't do, see what I can afford, what I can't afford, and stuff like that. So that would just help you to know, like, if you can really afford to move, like, are you ready to move? Or are you, by the end of the month, after all your expenses are paid, you like real tight. You could barely even pay any food after that. And also, even if you're not ready, it can help you understand like how you should prepare. I mean, you can ask yourself, are you making enough money? I mean, you have to be honest with yourself. If you are short or tight or whatever, you don't have any extra money left over after paying your expenses, including your future expenses that you may have. Are you overspending like in some areas? Like, so maybe you do make a decent amount of money, but you're overspending and like you're going shopping once a week, or you're buying all the latest hair products, or, you know, just spending, or you eating out all the time or something like that. And then if you see that, then the last question you can ask, did you cut back on something or kind of like cut off something? Like, so maybe cancel some of those subscriptions that you have that you don't need anymore, that's just taking up your money. Little stuff like that will definitely make a big difference, especially monthly, because that stuff can add up. I know it'll help you decide if you're ready to move or not, because I don't want you to rush. I mean, the worst thing to do is rushing and moving, because once you move, that's done. That's adult. You're in adulthood. There's pretty much no turning back until your lease is up. So as much as you're itching to go move out and stuff like that, I get it. Trust me, been there, done that. It's not worth it just rushing when you're not prepared and you know that you're not making enough or whatever. You may be struggling or whatever the case may be. And also when you're doing that, keep in mind that rent is not going to be the only new expense you have. When you move, you have your rent. Then you have to furnish the house, or at least get your essentials like your bed or whatever, couch or whatever is essential for you. I mean, cleaning supplies, stuff to eat on, plates, whatever, you know, so certain stuff like that. It's gonna be other expenses that you add up. Then food on top of that. There's a lot of things like toilet paper and trash cans and trash bags, things that you, laundry detergent, all these extra stuff. So, I mean, I'm not saying this to scare you, because I know it sounds like a lot. But again, if you are on top of your expenses every month, you're in control of your money, then you understand what you can afford and what you can't afford. I had to learn that the hard way, okay? But this is coming from a girl who still to this day is working on improving in the finances department. But thankfully I had, you know, my cousin to teach me a little bit, and these things has definitely helped me on my journey of moving out, I guess. I've been working on this one thing. I think I'm done. Let me make sure. I've just been working on this one. Say you found your apartment or whatever and you have an idea of where you want to go. The next tip I would say is the more you have saved up before you move, the better. You should have at least, this is at the very least, 3 months worth of rent saved up. If you have more, great. You should probably have more, but you don't want to be paying rent to rent. Like, you get paid, then with that, your paycheck, you're paying rent. It's like, you know, everything's tight. You want to be ahead of the game. You want to be ahead of your bills, ahead of your rent, so you're not stressing and like doing paycheck to paycheck type of thing. You get your paycheck and then it goes to rent, and then you're struggling and you have to wait. So again, if you have stuff saved up, when you go and, you know, start, you know, living your life, then you can breathe a little bit, because you know that you're, like, again, you're ahead of the rent. So you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen in the next month or whatever. It's happened for me, and it was a lesson to be learned, to say the least. And also, obviously, being behind on bills will mess up your credit. You will also have to pay more because you'll get charged late fees, or, I mean, you get evicted if you don't pay it, for sure. One of the best pieces of advice I can give new movers, if it's your first apartment, your first place, having roommates will make your life so much easier. I know for me, I hated the idea of having a roommate because I just have fears of living with strangers. So thankfully, I had a best friend that I was able to move in with. Obviously, the more roommates you have, the better, because the more you can split your rent, the less you guys have to pay each. So it's like easier for you. I know my best friend, before I moved in with her, she had a roommate that she actually found on a website that helps you connect with other people who are in a room together. You just really have to be careful and make sure. She told me that she ended up meeting her roommate. They had some, you know, dates to meet each other and learn about each other and talk about what they expect of each other and just stuff like that to see if they were a good match. So obviously there are ways for you to find roommates and figure out if they're your match and you guys are gonna get along well, and I think that's a good idea. But I would just say, first off, if you have any friends that you can move with, great, or maybe move with like a family member, like a cousin or something. If you can't, then find somebody that you know, an acquaintance that you trust, or maybe you can just go to one of those websites or something like that. So everything's much easier. You're splitting everything: rent, bills, food. If you want want to, so everything is not all on you. Another kind of moving tip I would say is have your bills set on auto pay. That would help you, because I know I'm very forgetful and that's not good when it comes to bills, because the bill collectors don't care how forgetful you are. If you're not there to pay your stuff right then and there, then that's on you. And auto pay is just when you have the money directly taken out of your account every month. Is like on an auto, like that's just how it is. You don't have to worry about missing a payment. Just make sure you have the money in the account, obviously. And then setting reminders on your phone calendar whenever you have a bill. Like I remember me and my friend, we would talk about the dates for every bill, and I would set a reminder a few days before or even a week before, so I knew to make sure I never forgot to pay. A money saving tip, just for not just moving out but just adulting period, something that I live by, something that I know works. If you want to save money, how often are you eating out? Answer me that question. How often are you eating out? Majority of you are probably gonna say often. I mean, I don't know, because it is different. We're in the middle of a pandemic, so I don't know how that is. I don't know if that means you're eating out more or less. I don't usually eat out anyways, because I have allergies and all these other dietary restrictions. I mean, I don't like to call it that, but that's just the best way I can describe it. So I usually cook just because I have to, and I'm more comfortable with eating my own food. But I know that saves me a ton of money. Eating out is expensive. I can never wrap my head around people who eat out 1, twice, 2 times every day. That's just so much money. And it's not like I'm judging, but I'm just I could just imagine how much money that would be. Cooking is just a good thing to do. Now, I'm not saying that you have to cook every day, but if you have I cook on the weekdays and then I can eat out on the weekends, you will save you a lot of money. Money adds up. That $5 you're spending, or that $10 a week or every day, $10 for 7 or 5 days, that's $50 every week. That's $100 every 2 weeks. It blows my mind. Cooking is just great. Once you learn it and you do it often, it becomes easier. Cooking is healthier. You know what you're putting into your food. And then also, I mean, this is just a lighthearted thing, but it's if you learn how to cook well and you get used to cooking, then you're preparing yourself for when you're older, your future, when you have kids, and it's easier for you. And then for your mans, you actually know how to cook, and it's just something that you learn when you're younger, or whatever age you are. It's just a good thing to know. It just has so many pros and benefits to it. Also, I know I've seen a lot of people that say the crown of their head is the thickest. That's for everybody, I'm pretty sure. I just put more product on it and it will help detangle that section. Okay, we're halfway there. I feel like this one is very popular nowadays because we see it all over YouTube, and it's a huge thing anyway, so I feel like most people are starting to do this. But keeping a clean space, this is something that I was taught by my cousins and my boyfriend because I kind of grew up in my parents cared about cleaning, but I had a lot of siblings, so it just wasn't super high maintenance cleaning all the time. It was more chill how I grew up, and plus I'm also not the most organized person as it is. I'm clean, I'm sanitary, but when it comes to organization, I can lack in it. I'm scatterbrained. That's my excuse. I say I'm scatterbrained. I'm more of an artsy people, and I feel like those type of people are usually not the most concerned about organization or that's just not their strong suit, I guess. The old Jess, the old immature, disorganized Jess. I mean, I'm still kind of disorganized. I have my moments. But yeah, the old me, my room would be like a tornado hit it, all day, every day, and I was comfortable in that because that's just what I was used to. But I noticed that when that happened, I don't know, I felt more stressed all the time. I got less stuff done. I felt like I was just more unproductive when I was just in my mess, even though I was comfortable, but I was just less motivated to do anything. So my cousins, I would just see them living in their household. They cleaned up after themselves. I mean, before they went to sleep, they would make sure that the house was nice and clean, so when they woke up the next morning, everything was just clean. And they just taught me a lot about just your space and how important that is. And let me tell you, as a retired, messy person, some days, it has changed my life. Having a clean space, it does equal a clearer mind. When you wake up in the morning, if your space is clean, you just feel like, oh my gosh, you're ready to start the day. You have clarity. It's just something that just makes you just feel more productive, and everything just looks appealing. So especially being at home in quarantine, I mean, although it does get messier nowadays, thankfully I have a boyfriend who's low-key OCD. Anyways, like, he's like, oh my gosh, the cleanest freak ever. But yeah, he be keeping me in check as far as cleaning up stuff, and although it does annoy me a lot of the times, I'm grateful for it because I love the fact that there's just such a clean space. It does definitely help and affect my mood and my productivity. Adulting, it is really just good to make sure that you're clean and you're organized. You know, making up your bed, vacuuming often, picking up around the house, making sure you wash your dishes, just clean up everything and have the house looking nice or your space looking good before you go to sleep. Just try to get on the cycle of that and see how it makes you feel. Also, by the way, most men will love that. I'm not saying that this has to do with men, but if you're young, you want to start doing things early, like cooking. And I hate saying this, like, oh, as a woman you should. I'm saying for a man too, like anybody, you knowing how to cook and clean well, it's just good traits to have and take with you for your future, for your partners, because like nobody likes a slob, and it's just a good thing if you can cook as well, and you know, health overall, stuff like that. A few more tips. It seems like the older you get, the faster time moves. I could have sworn as a child, it seemed like a whole day, a whole 24 hours took so long. Like, time moves so slow when you're younger, and then as you get older, it's like, oh my gosh, you blink, like you wake up and then you blink and then it's already time to go to sleep. Like, what? So I've noticed that also with my anxieties of aging, I just don't, like, aging scares the crap out of me. And I just want to just make the most out of my time every day. So this helps. Waking up early really helps with making you feel like you have more time in a day. If you wake up late, then your day is going to go by quicker. And as an adult, as an adult, you have a lot of things to do. You have more responsibilities throughout the day, which takes more time. You have a job you have to go into, and then also you got to come home, and then even just doing everyday chores or whatever takes up time, especially if you have kids on top of that. So it's like, you need to wake up early. Like, I feel like that's a trait that everybody should have, whether you like it or not. I mean, unless you just like your short days and not feeling like you have enough time in a day. But if you want to have more time to do things that you want to do, besides just everyday life things that we have to do, you need to wake up early. It helps you, okay? And it makes you feel like your life is not moving at lightning speed. I mean, it's still moving pretty fast, but at least you can feel a little bit in control of it by waking up like an hour or 2 or 3 earlier. Just saying. And last thing I'm gonna say, because again, like I said, I can continue with these tips, and if you guys want a part 2, let me know. But last thing I'm gonna end off with is that although adulting seems very scary, and then especially when you're in it, you can kind of lose yourself, because it's like you have so much to manage and everything just seems so hard, and life just seems to keep coming, throwing darts at you from left and right, up, down, sideways to sideways, and you feel like you can't catch a break. Hopefully, if you do these tips like waking up early, it'll make you feel a little, if you can. You have to, for your sanity, just for you enjoying life. I mean, this is my thing. Keep that child in you alive. Like, even though you're an adult now, no matter if you're 21 or if you're 35 or whatever older, you have to remember to keep the kid in you alive and still have fun. Still treat yourself. If you don't have money to treat yourself, that's okay. You don't have to spend money to treat yourself. You can go for a freaking walk in the park and go for a picnic and go to Dollar Tree and pick up some snacks or something like that. Or you can have a movie night, or, you know, there's certain things that you can do to treat yourself. Have a spa day where you just have a bubble bath and you relax, or just have fun. Try not to take life so seriously. I mean, life is serious, don't get me wrong, it's real serious, but it can just consume you, and then you turn into a very, like, stressed, grumpy kind of also like boring person because everything is so routine. So try to once a week, if you can, have some time to where you're doing something that you want to do and just have fun. Again, the things that you enjoyed doing as a kid, don't lose that just because you're an adult. If you enjoyed going to the skating ring as a kid every Friday or whatever you did, still go to the skating ring. Make time to do that. I always have to tell myself that because you have to enjoy life. We understand that adulting can be rough. I mean, it has its good and its bad. It's not all bad. But yeah, it can be challenging at times. You just can't let that overtake you and stress you out. You have to have some you time and have fun, because being an adult is fun as well. Although we hear a lot of, oh, adulting is so hard, it can be fun too. I hope some of these tips helped you. Let me know, what was your favorite tip that I gave, or the most relatable one? Or if you have a tip of your own, leave it in the comments down below. Just leave something down there, because you guys know I like engaging. And if you guys want me to keep this up, then I need to make sure that you guys like it, because, you know, I mean, you know, that's just how it goes. Finished pre-pooing. Thank goodness that took way too long, but I mean, my hair feels better and it's hopefully gonna be ready to wash in and deep conditioning tomorrow. So, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day or night or whatever it is, and make sure you keep these tips. If you guys need to save this video and watch it, rewatch it every week to keep you motivated and remind you what you need to do, then do that. Share it, like it, and yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.